And welcome back to the Colorado Football League, episode 5. I think we are in week 12 now. We just finished up week 11. We've had quite the mix-up in our standings, and today I am joined with two new guests. We have Jacob and Kobe. Welcome to the podcast, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And would you like to comment on your outfits today?
I'll let you go first,
Uh,
Jacob.
I'm rocking a Nike sweatshirt and shorts. I decided not to embarrass myself in front of all my league mates on this podcast. But let's flip it over to Kobe Austin. See what he's wearing.
We're keeping it low key today. This is strictly business. We're keeping the
Dude,
identity
it
hidden.
does look like you're in a car.
We're
Does
strictly business today, boys. That's all I'm gonna say. Keeping the face hidden, identity
strictly
hidden.
business, no lights on. I respect it.
No more having fun.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
All right. Well, why don't we hop into it? Last week was a pretty interesting week for the league. Um, as Jacob said, back-to-back weeks taking down the number one seed. That's pretty impressive as somebody who sat in the cellar with just a couple wins a couple weeks ago. He's vaulted from the eighth place to out of the bottom two, which is awesome. We can give a quick run through the standings and then why don't we talk about how the week went? For the very first time ever, Kobe Austin, MTV Gibbs, topping the standings. Absolutely incredible. Going from somebody who had to dance on TikTok for 2 weeks straight in the first or second season to now finally getting atop the leaderboard, not even just by points against. He's an entire game ahead of Big Al and the Gum Munchers, who occupy the second and third slots. I'm still holding down. I've been in that fourth slot all year. Still holding it down at 11 and 11. We have Nick with a big week. Jank Boteko, Love Didi. Heart
Heart
Didi?
DD, I
Heart,
believe. I
Heart
believe,
Didi. Thank
yes.
you.
Didi.
Thank you.
It's a heart. It doesn't say love, remember?
Yep,
Yes.
that's my fault. That's my fault. He had a big week going 2-0, grabbing the fifth spot at 9 and 13. Consistently, Ryan Jaster has again vaulted out of the bottom two to 8 and 14. And in our bottom two slots, Dub Farmers and the Shit Show at 7 and 15. But it's a very different 7 and 15 as the Dub Farmers have over 200, almost 200 points more than the Shit Show. Gentlemen, anything to add on this week's standings?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'd like to give a round of applause to Kobe. It took 12 weeks and 4 seasons worth to finally reach that top spot. Welcome to the top of the mountain. You won't be there for long. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Come on.
No. But no, I'm happy for Kobe being in first. I texted Big Al. I said to him, it's better to get the dud weeks out of the way now. I think he still has the Avengers. I think his team should win every week and should beat the median by 40. It didn't work out this last week for him. But yeah, standings wise, I mean, I'm happy to be out of the bottom too. I'll tell you that. No one likes to be in the toilet bowl. It definitely makes every week a bit more anxiety filled. Um, but obviously, only being one game up with a few weeks left is not a safe spot to be in. So hopefully, keep slowly but surely climbing.
Kobe, anything to add?
I just want to say I love I love being at the top. It's beautiful. The best looking guy on the top. That's how it should always be. The bounce back year, that's how it's been. Um, I do want to look over one, Keegan. Looking at his team, that is not a third place team. I'm sorry to tell you, although he is 15 and 7, there is no reason why his team should be putting up 1,588 points through 11 weeks. I'm sorry, Keegan. I love you, but the performance from last week just should not be cutting it. Ryan, you have been mediocre. I don't really know what to say about that. That's okay. You're not at the bottom. But I'd also like to congratulate me, Alex and Keegan on making the playoffs. We did make the playoffs. Let's just get a quick round of applause for that. We are out of the toilet bowl. So that's all I got at the moment. But let's get this thing rolling.
Well, why don't we jump right into your matchup? You already kind of went through it. The Gum Munchers versus MTV Gibbs this week. We previewed it last week. We said it was going to be close. We projected you guys both around the upper 140s. Turns out you guys were both at 148. It was as close of a matchup as we could have had. And Nick and I both said that MTV Gibbs was going to come out on top. We didn't predict, however, that Keegan would score 87 points in an eight-man league. That is probably close to the bottom score of all time, and he even had a 27-point performance from his tight end. Everybody else flopped. Everybody else is red besides the Baltimore defense. Um, Metcalf, Devontae Smith, Ladd, Jamar Chase, Jacobs, Montgomery, all duds, and Patty Mahomes was mediocre. It was a tough week for him. Honestly, MTV Gibbs didn't have that great of a week either, but there were good enough standouts. Gibbs and Smith and Jigba hit their projections, and Tet McMillan finally had that breakout game that we've been looking for to put Kobe above Keegan and sneak that median on that Monday night game. I'm sure he was very, very happy. There was a lot of chatter in the group chat from him. Kobe, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Um, I know I just did shit on his team. I'm sorry for my language, but as I'm looking through his lineup, Josh Jacobs did get injured in the second quarter. I like to say, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the second quarter. Jamar Chase getting absolutely locked up by Jalen Ramsey all game. Nothing you can really do about it. Ladd McConkey, that Chargers offense looked absolutely terrible. And then Devonta Smith, either he puts up 30 or he puts up 2 as what happened. I don't want to say he did anything wrong. It was mostly just super, super unlucky, in my opinion. It also doesn't help that David Montgomery is your RB2. But the way I'm looking at it, it was really unlucky. But I'm very glad on Tet playing the way he did. And he is the only reason why I got that median win. Because without him, I would have not gotten it and still would have gone away with the win, but it would have been a pretty disappointing feeling not getting that median win, especially this late into the season. But very good week to have an off week. That's all I can really say.
You mentioned it's tough to have David Montgomery as your RB2. It'd be really nice if you could have somebody like Chase Brown, who's averaging 19 points, more like 20 points over his last 3 weeks. It would have been awesome if you could have drafted a guy like that.
Yeah.
Or not even drafted, but just rostered and kept him. Instead, we'll flash back to 3 weeks ago when he made the worst trade of the season. And I so elegantly pointed out we'll be able to look back at this as the end of the season for him. He's gone 0-6 since then, trading away Chase Brown and Egbuka for Metcalf, Montgomery, and Devontae Smith, all of which laid an egg for him this week. Egbuka wasn't great this week, putting up 9 points, but the week before, 23.5. It's tough. It wouldn't have put him over the edge, but it's a tough one to look back at, especially when he was so insistent that it was a good trade.
Although that trade is real bad, I think we possibly have a contender for newest worst trade of the year, but we'll get into that later.
Yes, we will. Oh, we'll get into it.
Why don't we, Jacob, you want to break down your matchup with Big Al?
Yeah, let's do it. Me versus Big Al. Quarterbacks, Herbert versus Lamar. Both not a day that you want to remember. Browns defense kind of locked Lamar up. Herbert for the Chargers, they couldn't really get anything going in general. Losing Joe Alt really hurts Herbert and that entire offense, I think. Just having no time in the pocket will do that to your quarterback. Um, Running backs, this is the best little 1-2 punch in the league, in my opinion. Bijan Robinson and Devon Achane both put up 51.8 to combined. Um, I had Travion Henderson, who blew up in place of hurt Ramondre for a second straight week. Um, so that really helped with 32. James Cook, CD Lamb showed his floor. I mean, it's the safest wide receiver in the game. He's going to get you 15 no matter what. Rome, not so great day. Amon-Ra, not so great day. Kittle and Kyron really helped me in that afternoon slate. Really put me over the hump there. And then defense and kickers, not much to say on the bench for either squad. I did leave Purdy on the bench, but you got to pick a quarterback. He just didn't pick the right one this week. And then Justin Jefferson on the bench, but couldn't really play him because Diggs played in that Thursday night slot. But yeah, close game. Ended up being a 9-point game. So happy to get the win. Happy to get the median win.
Yeah.
It was
And that's
not looking
big.
good for a while. It was not the projection odds were not in my favor for quite a while because I believe Big L at one point was projected 180. So
Can I
Yeah.
add something? I just want to look at Amon Ra right now. 12 targets and only catching the ball twice. I mean, what more can you really do? I mean, Amon Ra getting 6 points, Rashee Rice getting under 10 points, and your team is still putting up 134. I mean,
and that's why he's the Avengers.
Lamar Jackson put up 6 points and he still got 134.72. But I mean, just looking at Alex's lineup, boy, am I scared. That's all I'm going to say. But great win from Jacob. He's been banking on Henderson. He's been hyping up his name all year. And it is amazing to see that he's finally getting those points that Jacob was hoping for. It's good seeing Kittle doing what he does best, being that big blocker, going outside and getting those touchdowns. And then with the quarterback, I would have started Herbert as well. Purdy's first game back. Could have been 20, could have been 5. You never know.
Yeah.
But good win from Jacob.
And that might have been the biggest projection we've ever seen. I think we said that last podcast. He almost was projected 170 points, which is ludicrous. It's insane to see. And Kobe, right? Like being still scoring 135 on your down week is insane. You got a little bit lucky this week too, Kobe. Me and you both did. We barely beat Alex for the median. We both were within like 3 yards makes a difference on that, and that vaults you into first place. So Alex got a little bit unlucky with that median this week, but Jacob being out projected by 20 points and going 2-0, huge game. Let's jump into the Dub Farmers versus Jank, Bottega, Hart, Didi. Kobe, you want to break that one down for us?
Nick, do not take this in the wrong way at all. But all we got to say is Josh Allen is absolutely inhuman. Your team did go off, but when a quarterback is getting 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns, mind you, he threw 2 interceptions and still dropped 44 points. Come on, what more can you do? I mean, I'm looking at Ashton Jenney. He only put up 9 points. Zay Flowers, who's your wide receiver 1 for this week, put up 11. Addison put up 10, and he's your wide receiver 2.
I think that's
And
just his
then,
wide receiver 1. I don't think the 4 this week is true.
I was hoping I was going to see a better one on the bench, but
Parker Washington.
AJ Brown
He's
putting
not
up
on the
11.
roster anymore. He's on waivers. So.
Oh, I guess
He's
it's
on
probably
waivers.
AJ Brown. It's probably AJ Brown.
But I mean, all you got to say is when Josh Allen is at his highest, he might be the greatest fantasy football player ever. I mean, if he's putting up points like this, I'm taking Josh Allen. If you can only pick one player, I'm picking Josh Allen every week, and it obviously showed out for him. Um, I'd also like to look over on Casey's side, Christian McCaffrey. It's actually insane what he's doing this year, regardless of injuries and what he's been through. Shout out to Casey for still drafting him, even though he was on the edge. And then I don't want to get too far into Casey. My blood is boiling just looking at his lineup still. So I'll hand it off before I say something that I shouldn't. So I'll let one of you guys go.
It's a crazy looking 8-man starting lineup. I mean,
Yeah.
we got the studs like Baker and CMC, but never in my life did I think I would see Mac Hollins in the starting lineup. Wandale Robinson has been good this year, and I see the upside with Russ or sorry, Jameis there. Shakir, I saw the upside. He's not great. I saw the upside. But it's a funny looking starting lineup, and he did some great drafting. Achan and CMC. Unfortunately, he traded Achan. He probably shouldn't have traded Achan. But he did draft well. But the team, unfortunately, this is about the time of the year that like Casey gets bored and trades everybody
Yeah,
away or something. I
definitely.
don't know what. I don't know. He just gets the itch. I probably should text
History.
him. I should text him.
History. Yeah.
You got anything to say, Jacob?
I do want to add just for Nick's side of things. I was watching it on Sunday, and I believe he texted the group chat even was saying how he was looking at three potential chugs, um, and just those two wide receiver, his wide receiver 1 and 2 last week, Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. Neither of them, I believe, got a catch until Zay Flowers, maybe not, but Jordan Addison, I know, did not get a catch until 5 minutes left in the game. So I mean, we're looking at, and even though he only scored 10, that's 2 catches, 20 yards, and a touchdown that was saved in the potential last drive of the game. So that's a little worrisome. You definitely would rather get those points in the first half and be smooth sailing from there. But I don't know. Going into his team, I don't love AJ Brown. Obviously, I don't love Aaron Jones, Addison, Flowers. I don't really love any of his pass catchers, to be honest. I mean, I know Kelsey had a good week with 24, but it's not my favorite tight end, but it's definitely not as bad as across the way looking at Kyle Pitts. So I guess sometimes you can't complain because the grass can always be greener. So
It's a good shout on the chugs. As the clock ticked down to week 11, Keegan and Nick, for their one chug from last week, turned into two. And now a negative score with your defense turns Nick 2 chugs into 4 chugs. So as a reminder, Keegan, 2 chugs, Nick, 4 chugs. Get that shit done before, was it
For
before,
Sunday?
yeah,
Or is
before
it
Sunday. Otherwise, the
before
2 turns to
Sunday?
4 and the 4 turns to 8, and then shit gets bad.
Yeah.
Let's quickly run through the last matchup, which is me, the Beanpoles, versus the Shit Show. I correctly called my win over Sage, but it was not. I didn't think it was going to happen. I think, only projected 40% chance to win coming
Yeah.
into the Monday game. I had a good shot though. You know, in a Dallas versus Las Vegas game, you know that there's going to be some points put up. I'm just lucky that George Pickens was the one putting up the points and not CeeDee Lamb, or just he did put up more than CeeDee Lamb. It was Pickens and Bowers versus Ferguson, and he had like a 25 point lead. So ended up coming out on top. But it was dicey. Like in the fourth quarter, Dallas is in the red zone. If Ferguson catches a touchdown, I go down. So I edged out the win and got a point correction to edge out the median as well. Absolute cinema for me. Uh, very, very pleased with how these things worked. Very, very pleased to get Kamani Vidal off of my roster. Um, and ready to rip for
can
next
we
week.
note, Ryan? Do you mind if we note? I know I'm not big into sharing trades, but 6 days ago you offered me the doll for Warren 1 for 1.
Vidal for who?
Just want Jalen Warren
Oh
one
yeah,
for one, and
that was a joke. Yeah.
yeah, shoot or shoot, yeah, shoot or shoot. I
Yeah,
respect it. I
exactly.
respect it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Respect
no,
it.
no, no. Vidal, if you look at his like there's a meme on Twitter that he's just like in every other week. If you look at him since week 6, he went 23-7, 19-3, 18-3. And I started him on every alternating week. I started him on the 7, the 3, and the 3. So
Good.
I'm so over Kamani Vidal. I'm glad he's off the roster. Sage had a couple decent games. Jameson Williams, ever since the new play caller, the head coach took over play calling. I'm forgetting his name, sorry, but he's
Dan
been
Campbell.
electric. Yeah, Dan Campbell. He's put up 16, 24, and 20. That's awesome for Sage. I've been a big Jameson Williams hater. So great waiver wire pickup by him. Bad waiver wire drop by Jacob. And Chase Brown, he got by trade. He won that trade, Egbuka and Brown. So good on Sage for that. A little bit unlucky this week. I don't know who's going to be in. I assume that Sage might stay in the bottom of the standings, but his team on paper looks better to me than both Nick and Casey. Is that absurd to say? Is anybody with me there?
I I totally agree with you. Um, I know looking at his lineup, Rico, I mean, he dropped 15. He has been absolutely amazing this year. And then getting a Egbuka and Devontae Adams, and then Drake May playing absolutely out of his mind this year. I mean, I like his team. I'm not saying it's the best, but if we're comparing lineups to someone's team like Casey's or Nick's, I would rather have his team. And I guess we'll just see how it pans out in these next what? We got 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, I think.
If I
Um,
were to have to roughly power rank teams, not based on record, but based on team strength, I'm going Alex, Kobe, me, Jacob, Keegan, Sage, Sage, Casey, Nick. Those last three are
I
tough.
um,
Those last three are tough.
I have a slightly different rating.
All right,
Pretty
Rip.
similar. I got Big Al, Kobe. I still got Keegan at number 3. I know the
Dude,
decline has hit, but I still think Keegan when his roster is healthy will out. I'm not. I think you're still for Ryan, but I don't love your roster. I think it's
I
really
think if
hurt
you
that
went one by
Saquon has
one,
not.
dude, if you go one by one, my roster beats out Keegan's.
I mean, I don't know. Saquon's your best player, and he's been mid.
Yeah.
George Pickens.
But no. I mean, without looking at it roughly, I go Al, Kobe, Keegan, Ryan, me, Sage, Nick, Casey.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Why don't we break down the one trade that happened this week besides the fake Rashi Rice, Jonathan Taylor scandal? Um, for some reason, my sleeper app did not notify me of these like happenings, so I just opened it up and saw like a slurry of messages, and I was really confused. It was Alex receiving Justin Jefferson and Casey receiving Kyle Pitts and Khalil Shakir. Gentlemen, thoughts?
I think I should start it off and then let Kobe spew because I think he might be a little less nice about this. I mean, the end of the day is, I mean, you gotta praise Alex, right? I mean, trades don't happen unless it's sent and it's accepted, right? There's probably some talk in there as well, and that's part of the game of fantasy football, right? If you can talk your way into a favorable trade. So I'll start by giving props to Alex for getting it done. On the flip side for Casey, it's it's weird, right? Because I try and put myself in their shoes of like, oh, well, maybe what does their team need? Maybe has Justin Jefferson not been as good as he was drafted at to be? And I think that is the case. I think with JJ McCarthy, you're not getting the Justin Jefferson production that you drafted for where you drafted him, but you're getting a lot more production than you would be getting from a waiver wire tight end, which I want to put a note out there, and I don't know if that's the case now with waivers had already gone through. But last week when this trade went through, Mark Andrews was the sixth tight end down on waivers. And I'm sorry, I don't think Mark Andrews is all that great fantasy football wise, but he is in the exact same tier as Kyle Pitts. So we're trading a guy that shouldn't even be rostered most likely, and fourth string option. I mean, you got Josh Allen by himself is better than Shakir Cook. I'd rather have Keon Coleman. I'd rather have Kincaid.
Those are
You
both
don't think
gone.
Coleman?
No,
You Kincaid, yes,
no,
for sure, Kincaid.
no.
Are you tweaking? Kincaid is like, where's he at? He was hurt. That's why he's not rostered.
Yeah,
He
maybe,
was like
maybe,
the
maybe
number
slightly.
three tight end. Number
I,
three
he's
tight end.
got he's got 2 points per game more, so that's pretty fair. I'm unfamiliar with
Khalil
his game.
Khalil Shakir is not anywhere on the level that it should be to acquire a guy like Justin Jefferson. That's the bottom line.
Let me chime in quick before we send it to Kobe. He got Shakir and Pitts. Shakir is 11 points per game. Pitts is like a 9.8. You go on the waiver wire right now. Juwan Johnson, 11 points per game, already better than Pitts. You hit slide over the wide receivers. Alec Pierce, 11.5 points per game. So he could have replaced that production genuinely by just taking the top, not even like picking up like spending his like waiver wire like priority. Like right now, I could pick up
Quick
better
ad. Yep.
production, which is I do think that this is just him getting tired of Justin Jefferson, who is we're still overvaluing Justin Jefferson. I think he's not
Hey,
even a top 12 guy, but he could get better production from what he got for free. Kobe, what do you have?
oh, all right. Let me just get a little loose real quick. We're gonna try and keep this somewhat classy. Um, Casey, your brain is made of rocks. Okay, I'm sorry. Ryan already said what you could have gotten, but the thing that makes me really sick is that Alex didn't even send you this trade. You sent him the trade, and you were the one that asked for Kyle Pitts and Khalil, and you offered up JJ. So there was no sweet talk. There was nothing. You went out of your way to get those players. I was actually on my way to dinner, driving with my phone in my hand. So mad. I was.
You were not driving while holding your phone. You
Oh,
weren't
I
driving.
was.
No, 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 no.
Oh
You were no,
no.
no, no, no. You
Um.
weren't driving. You were parked at dinner. You were parked.
Yes. Oh yeah. My
Yes,
bad.
yes.
My
You were
bad.
parked. You were parked. Yes.
Mind you, I am not happy. And then to find out that Casey's the one that sent the trade and wanted those players. I don't know. I know Justin Jefferson hasn't been what we thought he was going to be this year, but if you're trying to get out of the toilet bowl and you're getting rid of Justin Jefferson for damn near nobodies, it just makes me sick. Especially from a strategic point, you cannot be giving these type of players to the number one team in the league. Just from a strategy point, I know you're trying to make your team better, but I guess you could say I'm a little salty. I wish I had JJ on my team. I would have given you Woody Marks straight up since you just love getting terrible players. I'll just give you Woody straight up. I don't know. But I'm going to keep it classy. I know you're trying to get better, Casey. If, hey, who would have thought? I mean, if Shakur would have dropped 20 this week and Kyle Pitts caught a touchdown, it could have been a lot different. But
I do think Shakir is going to have a week this week. Multiple Bills pass catchers are out. Shakir is a good player. He is a good player. He's a yak merchant. I think we are underrating Shakir a little bit, but it's still producing the same value from the waiver wire is tough. Why don't we close out today by previewing some of these matchups? Jacob, you want to start with yours? You and Nick.
Yeah, me and Nick. I'll keep it short and sweet. I think my team's better. I think my matchups are slightly better. I'm gonna go with me.
Kobe, what do you got on this matchup?
Um, I'm looking at both the lineups right now. I do think it's going to be a closer game. Um, Looking at Jacob's lineup, Henderson is playing the Bengals defense, so we could see a really big game again. But I mean, you have CeeDee Lamb playing against Philly. He could either have an amazing game or you know how rivalry games are. It could be super close. And then you also got Warren at Chicago. Could be tough again. You never really know. But I think it is a 50-50 shot. I think Josh Allen is going to play amazing against Houston. Um, and I'm leaning more towards Jacob strictly because you have Wilson and Zay Flowers as your main wide receivers. But my pick is going to go with Jacob this week.
I think I'm probably going to echo that. One matchup that intrigues me is AJ Brown being projected almost 16 points. Um, this could go two ways. Either AJ Brown's going to drop like 8 or he's going to drop 30. I'm not 100% sure. I do think that running backs versus Dallas have been electric. They've scored on average 19.8 this season. However, the past 2 weeks, 11 and 4 versus the Cardinals and the Raiders. Saquon's a little bit of a different beast. So we'll see how that ends up. Obviously, I think that
Saquon's on Saquon is not on this matchup.
I know. I'm talking about. I'm trying to figure
They
out if
might
AJ
just
Brown is
dominate the
going to
ball.
score
Yeah,
points.
just
That's
dominate
what
the
I'm
Oh,
saying.
ball.
Is
okay,
like
okay.
they might just run the ball. Regardless, I do think that I like not all of, most of Jacob's matchups better. So I'm going to follow and say consistently Ryan's going to win. Kobe, break down your matchup versus the shit show.
Um, I like to say that like I see myself winning, but I mean, looking at Rico Dowdle, that man is a scary man. I know some people have different thoughts about him, but when I'm looking matchup for matchup, I'm damn near taking my player over his player in every single matchup, except maybe Agbuka, and probably Ferguson. But if I'm going straight up player versus player, I'm taking mine over every single one of his players.
Drake May.
Maybe a little bias. Drake May is a dog. He is playing Cincinnati. You are definitely correct. Jared Goff is playing the Giants though.
Chase McLaughlin.
Drake May.
All right. I'm
Kobe
gonna
also
take
doesn't have his
myself.
defense in. So
I don't have my defense in, and I'm projected to win by 9 points. I'm
Yeah,
taking.
real quickly. He's got to drop some people here. He's got too many people on that roster.
No, I don't. I one of those. I have the correct amount. That's why I don't have a defense in right now.
Yeah, once you get that defense, you're gonna have to drop someone though. Anyway, I think Kobe's gonna win. I think it's pretty clear cut. Gibbs versus the Giants, JSN versus Tennessee. I think that's all you really
yeah.
need to know. I think the top dogs are going to do what they do. He's got JT at the bottom. So, I mean, it is what it is. Kobe's the 1 seed for a reason right now. Probably should beat the 8 seed, but we're 2 weeks in a row now of 8 seed ones. So,
Oh,
Yeah. I like this is gonna sound crazy, not crazy. I think Kobe's gonna win. I want to pick the shit show. I was trying to find an angle to pick the shit show. I think the shit show covers. I think they find a median win this week. Because I like some of their matchups a lot. Um, but it's hard for me to pick against Kobe. Like the JT versus KC matchup scares me a little bit. I don't think that JT is going to score more than 24 points. But then you have JSN versus Tennessee, and you have Gibbs versus the Giants. So I'm picking Kobe as well. I'll break down my matchup quick. We got 4:37 till our Zoom kicks us off. Um, I also need to do some lineup setting. Keegan's got me by 11 points right now, but I'm missing a RB and a kicker. I like where I'm going with it this week. I think that the Bills could be a team that could lose this week to the Texans. They're missing a lot of offensive weapons, and unless Josh Allen goes nutty, I think that Houston could pull this out. Nico Collins could be in store for a good day. Then we got a massive game with the Eagles versus the Cowboys. I've got three of them boys. So
Oh,
I think we could rack up some points in that game. And then T. Higgins without Jamar Chase. Uh, I've got some good places to be, I think.
Him
I'm
facing
not.
T. Higgins while having Jamar Chase face that suspension has
It's
got to
awesome.
be a
It's
tough
awesome.
pill to swallow.
I don't want to say too much. But you are really gonna have to bank on that Dallas and Philly game. If if it goes the way it's supposed to, I'm easily
Yeah.
taking your team strictly because with your tight end matchup too, it is nice having Bowers against McBride. I know it's not matchup, but I mean Dobbs and David Montgomery, like just seeing that as your running back two and wide receiver one, I just can't go against you. So
Also, Jacobs is probably going to miss a game, it says. So,
Yep,
uh,
I was just gonna say that he's probably gonna have to start Hunt, Singletary, or someone off of waivers.
and
So I
Singletary's
will.
been decent. I mean, he's been good the last 2 weeks. Decent.
all right,
Decent.
let's get
So,
into this last matchup before we end.
all right.
I actually really don't need to get in this matchup. I think Alex actually wins by 50. I know the projections say 27, but it's Alex's team. I'm looking at it. I don't see how he doesn't drop 170 probably. I mean,
Yeah.
his team's absolutely disgusting.
I
I think
I
think
it's
do.
coming for revenge.
the only thing that Alex will have to worry about is Bucky Irving. I see
Yeah.
that he does not have RB on his bench outside of HN. That's not on bye. But I think if Bucky was a game time decision and he was ruled out and Alex forgot to take him out of his lineup, I don't think that would save Casey, unfortunately. So I will also be going with the Avengers led by Big Al.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that. I don't think Bucky's gonna play, but he could just very easily, replace it with Emmanuel Wilson or a Bam Knight, and get enough production that I think he still wins. Did you guys
Yeah.
pick on? I picked myself versus Keegan. Did you guys make a pick there?
I did
I'm
not. I'll go with Ryan.
I pitch you, Ryan.
Okay, so we're all on Ryan, Kobe, Alex, and Jacob. No,
Is that a clean sweep?
it's a clean sweep, but I've got Sage getting a median win and me missing a
In the
median
cover.
win.
Really?
I'm missing my cover,
Wow.
but because Keegan's gonna put up another straight 0-2 week.
We love it. We love it.
Final words, gentlemen. Anything to add? We got 1 minute.
I will say, good to be out of the toilet bowl. I love everyone in this league. Um, I hate the guy who's in first. That Shiesty looks stupid. Your audio was cooked the whole episode
Yeah,
because
true.
you decided to look like an idiot on purpose. And that's all. Thank you for having me on the episode. I feel blessed. Can't wait to watch it tonight.
Kobe?
I'm excited staying first after this week. As uh as I'm banking on it, I'm super excited to have a first round bye. It's gonna be nice. Um that's all I
Maybe.
can really say. That's all I can
All
really
right.
say. I'm not scared of by the looks of it, Keegan is not catching me, and that's all I gotta worry about.
And goodbye, pound it, noggin. See
See ya,
ya.
boys. Peace.